So we have 3 sets of clipboards here. And if you would like, not everybody needs to speak. We're only gonna have 20 minutes total for comments. So you'll have like 90 seconds. You're not gonna have much time, but you'll have like 90 seconds to say something. So you can start planning your remarks now, right? But we're gonna limit it to 20 minutes so that we have a chance to do some group activities that involve everyone. So I'm gonna pass this around. If you have a comment that's on the positive side, it's the green clipboard, okay, green for go. Start passing those around. If you have a comment on the concern side, for caution, okay, I'm handing them all to you, you get the jump, right? And then if you have a neutral comment, it's on kind of right in the middle, it's the clear clipboard, okay? So you can decide if you want to comment, and if so, which clipboard you're gonna sign up on. So we'll send those around the room, okay?
All right, welcome everybody out to our Waterloo Community Engagement meeting here tonight. My name is Dave Stockman, the city manager for the city of Umatilla. I wanted to recognize you do have 3 elected officials here tonight. We have Mayor Sipe, Councilor Duploff, and Councilor McLean. They're greeting people as they're coming in, and they'll likely come on in and have a seat here a little bit later throughout the evening. They're mostly here to listen to the comments. They may participate in one way or the other, but mostly staff and elected officials were here to listen. Jensen Strategies is here tonight to kind of walk us through this exercise. As they mentioned, there's opportunity to have direct comment, and then we'll actually go through some breakout groups and some opportunities to go through that. They'll introduce that a little bit more. So with that, I'll hand this on over to Amelia.
Thank you so much, Dave. And Jess, would you mind moving the PowerPoint forward? Welcome, everybody. Thank you, Dave, for that excellent welcome. And one more. Excellent. So, hi, everybody. It is great to see a wonderful group here tonight. I know there are a lot of ways that you can spend a Wednesday evening, so we're grateful that you decided to come and participate in this important conversation. My name is Amelia Wallace. I'm a senior associate with Jensen Strategies. I'll be facilitating this meeting tonight with my co-facilitator, Sia Lindstrom, who is handing things out. She's a senior advisor with our firm. You want to go one more slide forward. Thank you. So for those of you who don't know us, Jensen Strategies, we're a independent management and engagement firm based in Portland, Oregon. We've been assisting the city with facilitating these conversations and providing, collecting more input and engagement from the community about this event for about the last year and some change. So we're really grateful to be continuing to help facilitate that dialogue, get productive input that the city council can use in the challenging decision that they have before them tonight. So not tonight, in the next few months. So just briefly, now that we've done some introductions, I'll walk through a little overview of what we're doing tonight. So as I mentioned, we'll do a little introduction now, but then we'll move into providing a little bit of background about Rock the Locks. Just a quick show of hands, how many folks have participated in a Rock the Locks meeting in the past? Excellent, excellent. So I'm assuming at one of those meetings, you saw us at one of the many either post-staff reports, sound engineering reports, et cetera, that have been produced about this event. Unfortunately, I don't think anyone wants us to cover all of that tonight. So we're providing you just enough to be dangerous. We'll hit the highlights, and then you'll also note in your packets, you've received a quick fact sheet that provides a little overview of some of that information. But if anyone has questions about where to find out more, please don't hesitate to ask, and we'll get you directed to that after the fact. While I'm doing housekeeping, a quick show of hands, did anyone not receive a handout or a number? Everyone have a handout, packet, and a number? So if anyone who doesn't have a handout or number, if you wouldn't mind throwing your hand up, and someone will come around and see you. And thank you, Councilor Duploff, for assisting with the numbers in the back. So, and Mayor Sipe. Excellent. So once we've done a little bit of level setting, making sure that everybody has enough information to be dangerous, we'll then move into hearing from you all. I know that there may be some of you who prepared statements. as we'll be sharing more, there are going to be several opportunities to share these statements directly with council, but we wanted to give you an opportunity to do that as well. So we'll be we're passing out a sign-out sheet, and we'll share a little bit more information about how that process is going to work shortly. From there, as Dave mentioned, we'll be moving into a small group exercise. So as I said, and you may know, this is an event that has a lot of considerations, a lot of different things to weigh, from the financial, the economic benefits, community impacts, et cetera, which we'll be walking through in detail. But our goal tonight is to hear from you, to get input that council can use in the decision ahead. So we're structuring this meeting so you have a couple different opportunities to do that. First, by hearing some information from us as well as your fellow community members, then by discussing in small groups, and then having an opportunity to go through at your own pace and add some additional comments as well. And a key question that we'll be asking you throughout the night, as I mentioned, this is to help council make a challenging decision. So we're going to be asking you, related to several factors that the council has under consideration in terms of authorizing and in considering the future of this festival, we'll be asking you what hopes you might have for those criteria, or what concerns to really help council evaluate all the trade-offs and considerations at hand. So with that, why don't we provide a little background, if you don't mind, going to the next one. I'll hand it off to Steve. Oh, one more. I apologize. I said I was doing introductions. Now, I promise we're not going to make you do a whole exercise, but we want to hear from you, so let's practice. And if you wouldn't mind just taking one minute, quite literally 1 minute, to turn around and introduce yourself to a neighbor that is in the audience. So just 1 minute, turn around, introduce yourself.
Like, okay, you
Okay.
two are targets.
If you're gonna see, I'm the assistant of the assistant city manager.
That's right.
All right, it's very neighborly in here now, doesn't it? Very neighborly, thank
Like,
you.
I'm
All
sure.
right, see ya.
God bless, God bless.
No, it's like classroom. It's like classroom 101.
Yeah.
Remind me of teaching.
I like hearing all the greetings that were going on. That was lovely.
Like not Scott's, job. Cat control. Downstairs. Like,
See, going, you make it practice, right? And that's a good thing. And since we're here tonight to do that, I am going to bring you back. And one of the interesting things that happens is that usually the front rows are the ones who don't get filled. So as people come in, drift in late, they're all gonna have to sit in the front row, so you can help them feel welcome when they come in and push all the way to front, okay? So, talk a little bit about, you have something in your packet that is called a fact sheet. And I wanna make sure you have that. And it outlines quite a few things. One of the things it talks about are some of these steps in the decision-making process that's coming. So Amelia talked briefly about this, but want to walk through the community engagement opportunities that are happening. First, it was a neighbor meeting that happened last week, and I'm grateful to see a number of familiar faces in the room. Some folks who were here last week are also here tonight, and that's really great. We'll get continuity between those two meetings. We're having a community town hall tonight. We'll be gathering feedback from this as well. We also have a community survey, and that one's already hit the ground. Some of you might already have seen that, maybe even have taken it. If you haven't, please, we hope you seek it out and make sure to take the survey. You will learn a whole lot more about the topics that are in the survey tonight. So this will be a good opportunity for you to think through what some of your answers, what you might want some of your answers to be on that survey. So that survey is going to be open until April 28th. And we would ask your help to try to get the word out about that survey as well. That's a really important one. Once all of these community engagement opportunities are done, Jensen Strategies will summarize it all pull it all together for city council consideration. And we'll come back to city council in work session, tentatively scheduled right now for June 17th. So if you want to hear the summary of all of this tonight and the survey and the neighbor meeting last week, you can do that at the June 17th council work session. Council work session will receive that, will receive that information, and then they are scheduled to do decision-making on the future of Rock the Locks, July 15th. Okay, so that's what you're gonna see coming up. So, the one other piece I do wanna let you know about, lost a slide in here somewhere. The fact sheet that you got also has a lot of information about last year's Rock the Locks. And so please use that as a data point for yourself as you're walking through some of your decision-making tonight. If, when we're talking about a certain topic, you want to know what happened for last year's Rock the Locks, where we landed, probably on that little fact sheet. Okay, so just hold on to that as an important resource. Okay, so tonight we're going to be focused on kind of one key question that we're going to ask you over and over again in many different forms. That is, what are your hopes and concerns for the future of Rock the Locks Festival? What are your hopes and concerns? We're going to be asking you about that under 5 buckets, 5 topics. And you've started to see the flip chart paper around the room. We're going to be using that a little bit later on. So the 5 topics are economic benefits, financial considerations, community impacts and benefits, festival management, and time. These are kind of the big buckets of information that council asked us to go chat with you all about. So this is what council would like us to get your opinion and feedback on. Okay, and we'll be talking a little bit more in depth about each of these. So as I talk you through these next slides, you have a worksheet that looks like this. We had a couple of volunteers in our audience who helped us bring these up. Please use this worksheet to take notes about your hopes and your concerns related to the future of Rock the Locks on each of these topic areas. Okay, so you have 1 page for each topic area. And just make notes as you're going along. This is for you. You'll be able to take it with you when you leave at the end of the night. You'll be able to use it to help you fill out the survey right now if you want to. So this is purely for your own sake, okay? Okay, I think with that, we're going to dive into the definitions. Sip of water. Jasmine. There's our background slide. Oh, go ahead, skip one. One more. Okay, so we're going to talk about economic benefits first. So this topic area is one that council asked us to define in 2 ways. They asked us to think about the local economic benefits for Umatilla specifically, and the regional economic benefits that have a kind of broader, less concentrated effect on the region. Okay, so this definition is on your worksheet as well. So even though I flip forward in the flip charts, you're going to still have it in front of you on your worksheet. Okay, next. The next bucket of information that we're going to ask you to weigh in about in terms of hopes and concerns are the financial considerations. This one's a complicated one because there are several different aspects of this to take a look at, right? Financial considerations are related to the amount of city support that it takes for Rock the Locks, the cost recovery for Rock the Locks, which is that % difference between what's expended and what you get back in revenue. And then the return on investment, which is the overall community gains from hosting it. And you'll see some, again, facts about the last year's Rock the Locks event related to these in your handout, if you want to refer to that, okay? So the next bucket of information is about community impacts and benefits. This bucket of information relates to three things, and again, we talked with council to try to frame these up. These are around, first, community concerns about things like quality of life and comfort and the impact that festival might have on those kinds of things. Second is around neighbor concerns, the closest neighbors and the concerns they have. The ones that we've heard the most about, of course, are the noise mitigation aspects, but there are others. And then the third is around community benefit and the positive effects or advantages that the festival brings. So when you talk about community impacts and benefits, when you're in that bucket and you're talking about hopes and concerns there, those are the things that council are hoping that will weigh out. Okay, fourth bucket. We are gonna stop for questions, I promise. We'll get through them all and then we'll stop and see if you have questions. The fourth bucket that we're gonna talk about tonight is related to festival management, right? And the question is, in the future, what should be the entity that has primary responsibility for putting on festival? Right now, the city has responsibility for it, but it could be a nonprofit, it could be for-profit, it could be somebody else who runs the festival, it could be partnership. So there are all kinds of possibilities there. And again, there's information about that in the. And finally, the fifth bucket, we are arriving at the end of all 5 buckets, is the time frame. So this is the length of time that council wants to authorize moving forward for the festival. When it first went out, it was 2 years, right? They gave 2 years authorization for 23 and 24.
1 year and then +2.
Plus 2,
Yeah.
1 year and then plus 2. So, so the question around this is, do we look at earlier timeframes? This year or next year? Or do we look at longer timeframes, 2 to 3 years? And there are positives and negatives associated with all of those timeframes. Each comes with trade-offs. And so part of what we're going to ask you to do is weigh those trade-offs and give your thoughts around your hopes and concerns related to the different timeframes that could be considered. Okay. So I downloaded a whole lot of information actually really fast. Do you have clarifying questions about those 5 buckets of information that we're going to be dealing with later tonight? Got it? Okay. You got it. Mine is a steel trap. It's okay if you don't have questions now, because we will be around to answer them as we go. Okay. Let's roll on the next one. You're up.
Excellent. All right, I want to make a last call. Is there anybody who wanted to make a quick statement tonight that did not sign up already? Can you throw up your hand? Excellent, okay. So I'm going to hand out the clipboard and I would like for you to briefly just sign up. There's one for neutral, in favor, and against. And we had one back there. Okay, so you signed up, so we just have one. Is that right? Excellent. So as we mentioned, we've shared a little bit about what council is thinking about in terms of the buckets, and now we want to give you all an opportunity to share some things that might be top of mind before we break into small groups. So what we're going to do is we're going to take about 6 minutes per position, right? So we'll have 6 minutes of folks who would like to speak in favor of the event, 6 minutes of folks who would like to express concerns about the event, and 6 minutes for folks who are neutral and just want to share some other observations. What I'll be doing is when I get those clipboards back, I'm going to do some quick math, which I actually swore I wasn't going to do tonight because I've been getting the allergies. So I will accept being fact checked. But what I'll do is I'll divide the time so we know how many minutes per person. And then I'm going to get some assistance from Sia in terms of being our friendly countdown clock. So with that,
And I'm going to demonstrate, let me demonstrate what I'm going to do real quick on the countdown, okay? When you have 10 seconds left, I'll do this. When you have 5 seconds left, I'll do this. 2 hands, 1 hand. All right.
we're very high tech, as you can see. And quick poll, I was going to pull this podium out. Would folks be more comfortable with that or just standing? Standing?
You are.
All right, excellent. Well, With that, if I could collect the clipboards, I will do my magic and call our first folks up. One of them done. Say, why don't we start with, are there any other folks who would like to speak on a neutral position?
Sure.
Yep, okay, so we'll do 1 minute each since we have, or have you signed up yet? Okay, so why don't we have you sign up and I will call Mary Cahill first to, we'll have 1 minute each for our neutral folks. Want us to be where we are? You come up so everybody can see you and I'll hand you this mic here.
You want to name and address? Or does that matter? It's not a council, do you need the address?
I think that'd be helpful, yeah. Thank you, Mary.
I marked neutral, because I don't know which way to go. For me personally, I love the event and I'm glad it's here. Don't care for the location and don't care for us losing a large amount of money on this. So that's where I'm at.
Excellent, yield some time to the floor. Let's go to, you want to do all? All right, so let's go to opposition, because that's what's in my hand. Denise Pratt. And we also have 3 folks signed up, so we'll do, up to 2 minutes
Yeah.
each. And I apologize, I did short change you for the neutrals. We'll do 2 minutes. I told you, I wasn't sure I could do math tonight, so.
Hi, Denise Pratt, 148 Rio Senda. I too started out really excited about the festival. It's really close to my house. I can walk there. I'm not bothered by the noise. But what I'm extremely concerned about is the extreme cost that it is to the city. Losing 1.2 million the first year, 1.1 million last year. With the plans of losing 900,000 this year, adds up to a lot of money that could be spent in other ways. And I have such empathy for the people who are right behind the stage. I hadn't been down Royal Wallace Street, so I drove down there and I was shocked. I mean, really, the golf course is your backyard. And I think the planning of that stage was just really not done properly. So basically what I have to say on against. Oh, here's my other concern. Is the amount of money that is in the expenses, does that include things like the city staff that works the event? Does that include things like Jensen Strategies doing these surveys? Does that include the engineers that came in and did the sound mitigation? So that's a concern of mine. Were those expenses included in the budget? Or was that separate?
What I'm gonna do is start reporting traffic. Okay, that come up if they do, they're in your comments. So, you go timekeeper and.
Everyone wears multiple hats. That's how we do things, right? All right, thank you everybody for sharing so far. So we have 9 folks signed up to speak in favor. So I'm asking you to keep your comments to 45 seconds. And if there's extra time, we'll be able to have that at the end. So I'll call Janet, Nate. Janet?
I actually lived in Hermiston, that I'm a long time Umatilla person, graduated from high school and did a lot of things in Umatilla. I enjoyed Rock the Locks. I thought it was a lot of fun. And because I belong to the Umatilla Museum, we were able to sell water and had an income from that. Plus, there were some benefits for volunteers that worked on the water, which we had a great time. I don't know now if it's now when I would say this, but I would, since I'm old, I would like to have some older music. My era. Okay, I got,
You have 10 seconds.
oh, I'm done.
All right, let's hear from another one of our neutral folks, John Slutsky, who's going to come up in 2 minutes.
45 seconds.
Hi, everybody. My name is Don Slipsky, and I'm one of the host neighbors to the event.
Is he neutral?
It's been kind of an albatross for me because I'm a Little Rock fan, and, you know, I love the show and everything. But I also see what the effect's been on my neighbors. We have some people that have some disabilities and those sort of things in the neighborhood. It's been, you know, pretty hard on those people. And, so that's kind of why I'm trying to take a neutral position. I really want this to be a success. I think it has potential. I think there's some things that could be done, could make the neighborhood stuff better for the people that were really mostly affected. And, you know, it's kind of an expensive thing, but that would be rearranging the stage locations. That would probably, you know, if this is gonna get bigger and continue, and maybe be 2 times a year, 3 times a year. It's only gonna make it worse on the neighborhood the way it is. But there are ways to correct it. I see the city's making a lot of attempts to mitigate noise. I think that some of that money could be better off spent moving the stages now. But, you know, that's my opinion, and anyway, I hope this is a success, and I think that it's you know, a real boom for the economy around here and for the city, and, you know, just kind of puts us on the map, and really proud about that. And, you know, I love the city of Umatilla. You know, I'm a golfer, and, you know, it affects my whole life when I'm on this golf course and with the facilities, you know, going on. So I want it to be a success, but I want it to be, you know, fair for everybody that's in the neighborhoods. So thanks for letting me share my opinion.
Thank you, Don, very much. All right, so folks, I've been offered a friendly amendment. I want to see if you all are comfortable. So we have why we were planning for a number of contingencies with numbers of folks that were coming. So for simplicity, and so everybody has the same amount of time, are we comfortable just giving everybody about 1.5 minutes for the rest of the comments? Perfect. Thank you, everybody. All right, so with that, let's move on to our next speaker, Sharon Morris. Would you mind coming to the front?
Yeah, as many people know, have never been in favor of this and have not changed my mind yet. I don't think at this current time, the cost does not outweigh the benefit. The loss of money to the city is substantial. I think it could be used in more productive ways. Sound continues to be a problem. Yes, there's been efforts made. It's not solved the problem. From the very beginning, statements have been made that were not 100% true. There was even an admission by someone on the council that we were in fact lied to at the beginning. And that leaves kind of a bad feeling. And I'm also in favor of a different type of music. It would be nice to have Latin country. And I know I'm probably the only person in here that likes Boston pops, but you know, there are other kinds of music besides rock music. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Sharon. All right, our next speaker, we actually have seen before. Denise Pratt, did you need to sign up for a vote? Okay, all right.
Unless you can sing both things at the same time.
Denise Pratt.
I really like the idea of Rock the Locks. I think it's an extremely clever name, although Kathy just said, how about Bach the Locks? And that was pretty cool too. I think the idea is great. I just don't think it's in the right location. And I would really like to see it be something that is a permanent location, so it can be happening. There can be music venues throughout the year. It's a great community atmosphere. I volunteered the first year with Tina, and we had a wonderful time. So there's a lot of good possibilities. And I gotta just emphasize, the cost does not outweigh the benefit, like Sharon said.
Thank you very much. All right, our last neutral speaker, Rich Cotterill.
Rick Cotterill, 12 Driftwood. So, for me, like, I am not opposed to Rock the Locks. I have friends, I have family that attended, enjoy it. What I really have concerns about is the way it's funded, the amount of money that the city's losing to put on that concert every year. So I think that, I was a part of the budget committee first looking at those costs and I was okay. I supported this idea that we were gonna help get it up and running. But now we're in year 3 where it's supposed to be breaking even and we're not breaking even. We're not anywhere close to breaking even. I think it's time for someone else to take on those financial burdens for us. If we were kind of ignored in that aspect and we decide we're gonna trudge on, we're gonna do all this city funds, then my concern would be we're not really putting on a show that's representative of our community. So I think we need to have some more, maybe it's not always Rock the Locks. Maybe we're doing a baile on the back 9 or Country at the Coils, something like that. So those are some
Oh. Thank you. I already some great ideas there.
Where's my invitation, Nicole? Let's go.
Not my.
See, I wear a mask, I have no damage in my face, I have a terrible chronic pain condition, and it has been hard for me to have to deal with rock blocks. Like my partner, I like rock concerts, I like rock music, but I don't like it when it causes me pain. And, we moved, one of the reasons we live there is because it's a quiet place. When we moved there, it was a residential neighborhood that, like most of you, where you live, you have a noise ordinance that applies to you. If you have noisy neighbors, you can call the police, you can get them to stop. That was how it was for us. Until the city bought the golf course and they took away our rights, our right to have noise protection. And they didn't replace it. So we didn't ask for that. We moved there before they bought it. We moved there when we had noise protection and they've taken it away. So my concern is that while they're making a lot of efforts to try to mitigate the noise, those efforts are so far not at all a protection for us. They're not, they have reduced the noise to a certain extent, but they have not done the one basic thing that cities that have ordinances for festivals do, which is to say, okay, here's the maximum noise that you can see 6 feet from your house in normal noise, dBA and vibrations, dBc. They haven't done that, and they're still refusing to do that. So if somebody else takes over the festival, we have no way to be sure we're going to be protected.
Next on the list, we have Roxy Fetish.
I want to thank all of you for the opportunity to speak tonight. I write everything down. I'm here to strongly support Rock the Locks Music Festival. I feel it's a family event for everybody. It's quickly becoming a source of pride, energy, and economic growth for Umatilla. This festival draws thousands, boosting sales for our local businesses. For many, it's their profitable weekend of the year. But beyond the dollars, it brings connection and pride. It celebrates community, and it shows that Umatilla is vibrant and growing. Although everyone has an opinion, and I respect that, I do not feel that certain people are being heard. I quote, I was told this evening that because I live on that end of Umatilla, I didn't matter, and that I drank the Kool-Aid. I assure you that is not true. I do not feel a handful of residents that the city has spent hundreds of thousands of dollars along with the time and special meetings to satisfy their concerns on sound levels, when at this point, it's not actually about improving anything, but canceling the event. Altogether with no regard to the thousands that enjoyed it. The word that describes this mentality to me is selfish. It's not going on beyond your 5 miles. Please see through this and listen to the majority, listen to the businesses and residents that no longer want a bedroom community, they want growth. Thank you to our city manager, Dave Stockdale, the city employees, and the council for their unwavering dedication and time spent over the very best to make everyone feel heard and creating something we all can be proud of.
Next speaker, thank you. All right, sorry, I have to be the bad guy sometimes. All right, just last call if there were any other neutral and negative speakers. All right, I'm gonna move on to the rest of the positives. Kelly Nobles.
I like Rock the Lock's name, but the alternate could be Best Festival by a Dam Site. So I'll just try to be quick. My family's mom family, they've been here since the forties. Been here a long time. Umatill's been through a lot of boom, a lot of bust. We've seen it all. Recently, Umatill's doing a lot of really great things. Thank you to him and the council. And so the businesses in the area that brought in money. Most recently, the best thing that's ever happened to the city is this event. I did some camping out there, met people from all over the states. Umatilla has a new reputation. It's a really good reputation. But it's really good for us folks to say, oh, have a minute. Some of the costs, I'm a member of the golf course who didn't like it at first. Every one of us loved it. The golf course is in great shape. We got machinery, we got golf carts. We have stuff that will improve the fields next door for the park. So some of those expenses are going to machinery that will generate, more than just the event. We're a farming community. Costs you money to till, to seed, to grow, to build it, and then you harvest, and then you get the money. I've been in events for 25 years. Rock the Rivers in Montana, 25 years ago. Their first 5 years, we started playing there. They had 1,500, 200 people. Now they have 10,000, 12,000. So you see it get legs and it progresses. And pretty soon, people go to that event just because they love to go camping there. They don't be good at it, regardless of the entertainment. That matters. But it becomes a great fun event, and it takes a while. It takes several years to really build that foundation. And he's off to a heck of a start. Fantasy Productions has helped them. Fantasy Productions used to buy the bands and did the orchestra. The first year this event ran, it was very, very well organized, and it's got that reputation. So you're doing great things, and I hope that they get the opportunity to keep going.
You can tell I'm a stickler, right? Thank you. All right, Marcy. And 10.5. Thank you.
Okay, so if somebody mentioned the location, that might be a concern for the future. One of the things I mentioned when I was on council was the best place to put this venue. You could do it, but it'd be cool right there where the two rivers come together. But how do you get through the ending process, right? So I thought about that way back. I think that one of the things I learned when I was in a meeting here, I brought Dean Maldonado over from Kennewick. He did the 27th Street area development there. And he said, if you build it, they will come. And he said, the way that we built this whole area here in Kennewick was the people wanted a sports complex and put that in. And then all those houses started going in because people were coming from all over the state. And then once the houses were there, the pizza place and the Rock wasn't there at the time. He put a veterinary clinic in, and then all the businesses started thriving. And then all these events started happening. So I think that that Rock the Lock's event is actually going to bring the people. And so if you bring the people, then all the businesses thrive. You can't put the businesses in and then pray that all the houses. It's not going to work that way. If you go to Bend and see this, I go to 15 to 20 concerts a year, and Kelly's out there. I go to all these events all over the place. In Central Oregon, the theater went in first, and then all the houses went in. So that's what happens. You got to build it and then it'll come.
Look at that, self-enforcing. Appreciate that. All right, Nate Pryor.
Hi, I'm Nate Pryor. I've been going to concerts probably for 35, 40 years. Been to many outdoor concerts, and by far, this is the best crowd environment ever that I've ever seen. A lot of friendly people from all over the place. I wish this continues. A lot of people that I've talked to all highly recommend this to people that live out of state. Got people coming as far away. I met people that came from Tennessee. Met people who came from Florida. And I just hope this continues to grow. And I know there's going to be a lot of hurdles for community, and I think there's a lot of benefits too. But just like anything new, there's going to be some, up and downs on the beginning until it gets its feet on the ground, gets settled, and all those issues get resolved. That's all I have to say.
Thank you very much. All right, and next we have Pistachio. I heard it might be a trip, but we'll see.
I've lived around here most of my life, and this is the best of that. We are also losing our racetrack. That was pretty big within the quarters. He was one of the festival, I think, all 3 days. It was fun. I'm just a fan, I just need to say, I understand the inconvenience for some people. It's only 3 days, I know there's a effect before and after. It needs to be in our community, it helps. It helps. My turtle will be there every year. Want to make a mascot at 11. He's out there in the truck too. I just.
You're just fine. Oh, you're Bob, is that what you're saying? Okay, well, thank you, Bob. All right, we got 2 and 1 here. And last on the list, we have Brett Kershaw.
Thank you. My name is Brett Kirchhoff from Kennewick, and when we first got here, I was feeling a lot of place, like, this is for the city of Umatilla. But anyway, there was one thing I wanted to say, and Kelly kind of stole my thunder a little bit, but, before I say it, well, give a shout out to all the volunteers from Umatilla. I mean, everybody we've encountered, you know, bartenders, security, police, everybody's been awesome. Then the other thing I want to say is everybody we know from outside of town that comes that had either a negative view or no view of Umatilla now have a positive view. So we're rooting for you guys to keep it going, make some money and rock on.
Thank you very much. All right, well, I want to appreciate you all for the thoughtful comments and for not making me be the bad guy too often, so thank you. With that, we'll move into our next activity where we'll be asking you to dive a little bit deeper into the buckets that we talked about. You know, we're always balancing that trade-off of quantity and depth of engagement. So we're gonna ask you to help take one of these topics to that next level of depth to get some really quality feedback from council. So would you like to explain how we're gonna do this?
Okay, are you all ready to start working here a little bit? So, thank you. So I mentioned a little earlier that the key question we're gonna focus on tonight is about what are your hopes and concerns related to each of these topic areas. So, just keep in mind hopes and concerns. You'll see that we have, this front of this, but on each of the flip charts on the wall, we have a Post-it note that says hopes and concerns. And we're going to do about 15-20 minutes here where we are going to split you up into small groups. And each of you will get a topic area. And we're going to ask you to spend 15 minutes as a group doing a deep dive for your topic area about hopes and concerns. Okay? So once that is done, we will take a quick review of everything in the room. And then you're going to have a chance later on to visit everybody else's Post-it notes and add your thoughts and do some little dots about what you think is most important. But this first step is to get your ideas on the wall. Okay? Now, Amelia handed out, or these maybe our greeters handed out numbers. You each have a number in your hand. You might have an A or a B on the end of it. That actually doesn't matter at this point. Only A's. Are they all A's? Excellent. Excellent. Okay. So if you are, so once you get in your small group, I'll give you a little bit more before I divide you up into your small groups. When you get to your small group, you're going to choose somebody who's a recorder to put the notes on the wall. Okay, who's willing to record your ideas on the wall. There are no wrong ideas. So this is brainstorm, right? All ideas go up. Hopes, concerns, they all go up on the wall. And just brainstorm as many as you can in 15 minutes you have. Okay. Once you're done with that, then we'll bring you back together again. So who has number 1? Okay, you all are over here. You are the economics, both regional and local economics. If you all want to gather over here. Who has number 2 in your hand? Okay, number 2 is gonna go out in the hallway and it's the financial considerations. You all have a complicated one. So you all get to wade through the financial considerations out here at this hall. Who has number 3? 3, okay. You all are gonna be over there. We have something amazing. You all are the community concerns and benefits. Okay? We have number 4. Okay? You all are festival management, and you're right around the corner here. Just gonna gather around. And then number 5, it's right up here on the dais. Number 5 are up here on the dais. You all are time breakers. Okay? So, on your market, set, go.
Oh, no, that's a long time. I think like 5 minutes.
5 or 10 minutes.
Right in the hallway.
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead and
You?
now bring it back and bring it back.
Sticking around, you're heading out.
I'm going to Italy for my 70th.
Did you say tomorrow? Oh, in June. I went to Italy in June 20 years ago. It was amazing.
I really appreciated feeling the energy in the room through all of this. It was fun. I know we put you through a lot of categories in a very brief amount of time, but I really appreciate everything we see on the wall up here. This will really help us in terms of identifying what are the hopes and concerns and articulating those for council, so that they are able to make a more informed decision in June and July. You're considering this. If you all would like to come visit all of them after this is done and take a look at which ones got more dots, kind of all the ideas and then which ones got even more dots, please do come visit. We are very happy with what we're seeing up here in terms of the depth of the conversation we saw happening. So thank you for that.
All right, well, just as a couple last things, thank you again, everybody, for being here tonight. This was a really meaningful piece of information that I think would be really helpful for council. But as we mentioned, this is not the only data point that we'll be sharing with council. So first of all, I want to share, so the information that we collected tonight will be summarized in a report to council. We'll be collecting the information from your sheets and reporting on the information from public comment. From here, as we mentioned, we do have a survey available, which actually I need to pull out. So just quick show of hands, who had heard of the survey before tonight? Oh, I love that. Who's taken the survey? Wow, okay. Quick thought, if anybody has questions about their survey responses before we leave, let me know. But we do have, if anyone who has not taken the survey yet, we have the link in the QR code here for anybody who would like it. I will spread those out in just a moment. But just as a brief reminder of the steps and other opportunities that you have to share input with council. So survey, as we were just talking about, closes April 28th. Two brief things. One, those results are coming directly to our firm. Our firm has managed all the data that comes in. So just want to assure that that's all confidential and stuff that we'll be summarizing and preparing for council. Second, tell your friends. It is great to see how many folks have seen the survey in here, but please, we encourage you to directly share the link with anybody who you think hasn't filled it out and should. And also if there are any key groups that you're like, boy, I hope that the golf course folks or whoever it is finds out, please feel free to let us know. We would love to make sure that we're getting the word out about this, because as we mentioned, council has made it clear that they have a hard decision ahead and they are looking for your input and your help. Beyond that, so we'll be summarizing the results of this session, the neighbor session, and the survey, presenting that for council on June 17th. Those are both more tentative because we know the only constant is change, but please go ahead and count on those unless you hear otherwise. We'll be presenting the engagement results June 17th, and then council will actually be giving, making their policy decision about future Rock the Locks festivals July 15th. One last thing I want to note is, so you had in-person opportunities to give comment. We're giving you online opportunities via the survey, but there's also always the opportunity to speak in person at council meetings as well. So if you'd like to submit written comment or give testimony at those sessions, the normal ways that you sign up for council will work. And if you have any questions, we'll be posting more information on the 2025 Community Rock the Locks page on the city website. Now, last quiz, how many of you folks know that website? So it's the community page. You couldn't find it. Well, if anyone had trouble finding that page, please feel free to see me after here. And if you signed up on the information sheet, we'll send a follow-up email and we'll include a link to that page. Yes?
Is the community page the Facebook Rock the Locks page?
Great question. This is on the city website. So this is all the information that would particularly be relevant to neighbors and other folks near the event. So community impacts.
Man, we'll show you real quick.
That's what teamwork's about. I'm sorry, yes?
that link on the Facebook board so they'll know who's winner.
And thank you, yes, well, and you were saying to put the community webpage.
Yeah, the one.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, and we will be promoting the survey, et cetera, on the variety of channels that there are to engage with Rock the Lock. So looking at Sia here, what nice.
I think we have covered it all. Are there any other burning questions, issues that we need to take care of tonight, Paul?
It's, maybe it's been announced and I didn't hear it. Is it June 17th? Is that public attending or council room?
So it's a work session, which means it is public and we can come observe it, but typically a work session, there isn't a chance for testimony, but you can come and hear the.
There'll be an opportunity for just, for public comment on the agenda for the night, because it's going to be work session during the discussion item of the agenda for the night.
So you can come to a general public testimony.
Yeah, so, yes.
But thank you. With other burning questions? You all, oh, please.
For people who aren't here, yes, you said the things, but is there a way to get some of this type of information to you? You know, when we talk to, I mean, there's a lot of neighbors I talked to, they couldn't make it tonight.
Okay. So here's what I would suggest. Have them take the survey. And we have built into the survey a lot of places where there's just open-ended responses. So any kind of hopes and concerns they have about any of these, they can just write it into the survey response. So I think at this point, that's the easiest way. You can share your worksheet with them if that would help. Yeah.
So we have extra copies.
We have lots of copies of the worksheet.
But this is being recorded.
The first part was, and I.
We're still recording.
Still recorded, yes. But it's been recorded. Thank you for that. Yes, it is being recorded.
Lock the locks.
Any others?
On the survey, when you went to, if you did have a comment on anything, that the spaces, you were only able to write so much, how do you make it to where people can put in more detail, you know, whatever they want to put in?
Yeah, good question. So, for the folks who are online, the question is if you, there's character limits on most of the input, and that's just for our sake in terms of analyzing it. The one place where you can write more is at the very end. There's, do you have anything else you want to say? And you have more space to write there. So that's the hint, is use that last space if you have more you want to say.
Yeah.
And we also provided contact emails at the end of the survey. So if anybody were to want to provide more comment, they can always reach out.
Other burning questions? Dave, anything you any parting words from you, or are we good to roll?
No, just thank you again, everybody. This is a long evening, and as I walked around, what I witnessed, I heard lively and vigorous discussion, debate, passion. Those are all awesome, wonderful things. So I really just thank everybody for coming and sharing your feelings and thoughts with us. Really appreciate it. I know it's a lot of time commitment, so thank you again very much.
Thank you all. Take food with you. Have a very nice day.